Hi, I'm Cathy. Welcome to a chair yoga class. A couple of practical things first. Make sure that your chair has a firm seat and that it's secure. We'll be doing a lot of seated work as well as standing, so it's important that your chair is secure. You would like to be able to sit up tall and be grounded so your feet can reach the floor. We don't want to lean back. We want to sit tall during the practice. The whole practice will be working on the strength of our back because typically when we sit, a lot of times we use the back of the chair, but we're going to use the muscles in our back. I'll be talking about how we can promote stronger bones by using our muscles throughout the practice. And we'll start with just being in very good posture and sort of imprinting muscle memory, what good posture feels like. So we're grounded, knees over your ankles basically, toes forward, sitting tall. There's a tendency to move forward, but we want to sit back. We want weight in our sits bones versus our thighs. So typically we all need to make that adjustment. It feels like we're typically tend to go where our eyes are looking. So sit tall. Think about the space between your shoulders and your ears and your lower rib and your hip bone, the crown of the head moving up. We'll just take a pause, as we always do in yoga, to sort of start to feel integrated, like our mind and bodies on the same page. A good tool for promoting that feeling is our breath. So simply start by being aware that you're breathing. We want to breathe through the nose. That warms and directs and filters the air. This tall posture that we've established allows the lungs to expand fully so we can breathe a full deep breath in, and we'll breathe in an unhurried fashion so we take time with the exhale. Full unhurried breath. We want to maintain that flowing breath through the duration of the practice. So take a pause, align, again kind of imprinting muscle memory. This is what good posture feels like. Allow the breath to just flow. The pace with we breathe is important because it triggers deep, full abdominal breathing, triggers a cascade of relaxation results in your mind and your body. When we breathe in fully, the belly moves out on the inhale and it falls in on the exhale. So just notice that happening in your body. If you can't tell, just put your hand on your belly. It'll move out gently without forcing. And it'll just move in as the air exits your body. So just another few breaths of full breath, giving us the energy for our practice and sort of a relaxed state, sort of relaxed exertion. We don't need to hold tension in our face or our hands, but we can feel the muscles now on our back working a little bit. Just another nice full breath. And then we'll release our arms down by our side and exhale. And then inhale, take a full breath in, let your hands find each other and just move down to your heart. Any intention, maybe just that you stay focused, that you stay aware of your posture. You can take a moment to think about that and establish that. And then we'll release the hands back toward the back of the chair and just shift forward. I love this position because you can't do this if you're not in a chair. I mean, you could, but it wouldn't be very pleasant for very long. So here, the muscles in your chest are long. You're promoting a really long spine with lots of space between your vertebrae. So this is one direction the spine goes. It lengthens long, and then we'll release the arms up. If you have any discomfort in your shoulders with this kind of position, feel free to modify. Don't work through any pain or pinching or discomfort. So you can lower the arms, do this goalpost arms always as an alternative if that's more comfortable. And we'll just release the right arm down and let the left arm reach up and over. Just pause. And then go ahead and cross that arm over toward the outside of the right knee. Sit very tall and look back over the right shoulder. We don't care how deep the twist is, but how inclusive it is. So we start with the lower body and then just end with the chin That's sort of the punctuation mark of the twist, so we don't leave the spine behind. And then simply change the direction of your gaze. Just look over to the left. Kind of soften your shoulders into this position. Release that left arm back, touching the sides of the back of the chair, lengthen forward. Most important part of a twist is to enter into it with a long spine. Release the right arm up tall, really up, crossing over the body outside the left knee, from the lower back up, a twist over to the left, and then just change the way you're looking. Kind of a double twist going on here. Just soften the shoulders into this position. Okay. And then again, both hands back behind, shoulder blades down and back, and just look up a little bit. Just lift the chin, and then release the arms up to this goalpost arms. Shoulder blades moving together, such an important stretch to maintain the length of the muscles in the front of the chest. Life pulls us forward and down. We're going to work with as much awareness as we can to be tall and open. This is a great stretch to do to loosen up the upper spine and the neck. Try to do it every morning. Interlace just the tips of your fingers and rest the hands at the back of your neck. The thumbs can be down supporting the tops of the shoulders at the base of the spine. And just look up so you're supporting the cervical spine where the vertebrae are smaller and a little more vulnerable. And just lift the chin and let the elbows move back. We don't go this way very often. This is a nice, safe way to bring length and lift where we really need it. Good. And release your arms down. Take a pause. Notice the results of even moving so far. If you might feel a little more space in the upper spine, a little more mobility. And then we'll again come back forward, coming back to lengthening the spine. As we pause here, you stay just as you are. When we fold forward, we're careful to do so from the hip crease. A lot of times there's a tendency when we fold to round through the spine. Again, that's the way life takes us, and that's where we're sort of vulnerable to damaging the spine. So flat back is how we'll go about it when we fold forward. I'll come back to that reminder again. So we're sitting in mountain pose. You can release your hands to your thighs. Again, do this little taking inventory. And then we'll just roll the shoulders back. Just kind of feeling how it feels to be in your body at this day and time. So shoulders can get a little sticky. Sometimes one is a little more tender or problematic. So let's let them kind of warm up and go through this gentle range of motion first. All right. And then we'll let the hands rest on the thighs. Moving down into the core of the body, we'll shift forward. The muscles in the back will contract as you shift forward a little bit and look up just gently. And then exhale, scoop out your abdominals and round. We don't have to overdo the rounding, but we're supporting with good use of the abdominals here. Seated cat-cow. So the first few we'll do just in this fashion. A lot of times we do this on hands and knees in a mat class. So muscles in the back contract, muscles in the front contract. And then we'll take a different position of the hands. Go ahead and let go of that. Let the hands come down to your chair. And this will be cow lift. Cow lift, doesn't that sound challenging? We'll shift forward and do that little back bend. And this time as we come forward, just press down like you're lifting yourself up out of your hips. So we'll inhale, arch, shoulder blades together. Exhale, scoop out your abdominals and just come straight up. You don't have to come all the way up. Just a little bit of work. Inhale, arch, exhale, a little bit of a lift off the chair. Just do what you can do. We're not used to, working with a lot of weight, sometimes in the shoulders and wrists. But the benefit of this is denser bone in the wrist. And that's one of the vulnerable parts of called demineralization or osteopenia or osteoporosis. So we want to do, and we'll have another posture coming up that will help develop some upper body strength. Good, release. Okay, moving on to the lower body. We're in a chair. That does not mean that we are not challenging and working the lower body. We'll start with the right leg, very simply, this kicking motion. You can go about it many ways. You can just kick as we are. You can support the leg if that feels a little bit better for you. We're lubing up the knee. We're moving the synovial fluid as we move this hinge joint. So it's just nice to kind of get our joints moving more smoothly. So even after a few of these, because we are isolating this muscle so much, you probably don't feel like you want to do this all day long, you know? But these are I call these the big guns, our muscles of independence. These are the muscles that get us up out of this chair. This is the muscles that move us. So we're isolating them. That is enough to get the attention of that muscle. You know, you can release the leg whenever you want. Nobody knows what this feels like in your body but you. And then soften the knee and just do a couple of circles with this right leg. So now we're moving through all the directions, in and out, up and down, through the hip joint, and release. Good. Probably feels pretty good to put that leg down. Other side, sit tall. Again, we're working the muscles in the back the whole time. So just kicking with this left leg, moving the knee. You might feel like it's, you can always lower, you can do fewer repetitions. This may be easier on one side than the other. Quite often we have differences that, might promote going about something in one way, the way that it suits you on that side. Always working, finding that balance between challenge and, your practice. You want it to be something you want to come back to. Good. So a few more. We'll hold. We're going to feel it right here in the meat of the muscle. Feel free to support the leg. Still get benefit. And then soft knee and just a couple of circles. Just feeling sort of this ball and socket joint, taking a little tour of the movement, the direction of that hip. Good. And release. Okay. We're going to just continuing down, being very inclusive here, very thorough. We're going to flex and touch the heel and then point. So it's flex, flex, point, point. Exaggerate this just as much as you can. Flex hard, point hard. So we're lengthening the calf and then lengthening the muscles in the shin. So just enough, again, exaggerate it. And then we're going to pause. We're going to come in and take the right heel high. So exaggerate this like you're stuck in a real high, like you have a Barbie foot. She made terrible choice in shoes and her feet got stuck. And then the top of the left foot is down. So this promotes extension of the ankle. You'll feel the stretch all the way up into the front of the left shin. So on the top of the foot, and again, based on what works for you, then we'll change it over. Take that left heel high, and if you can rest on the top of the right foot, you don't have to push, you don't have to get too carried away. We don't usually, rest weight on the foot in this position. You can feel that stretch all the way up into the calf. And then one more thing, I do get carried away with the feet, but it's important. We'll bring our feet together. So we're used to in life moving forward and back. We move less side to side. We'll work on our hips in side to side movement to promote balance and security. The ankles are important to do that too. So we're going to lift the heels. We're both working on mobility and stability. Lift the heel and go way out like you're very pigeon-toed. And then lift the toes and go out. Heels out, toes out. Now we'll work our way back in. Way in, out, 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 out. Exaggerate this movement. That's working on mobility of your ankle. And the repetition is working on strengthening these muscles. So again, movements we don't do very often, but we want that balance between strength and mobility. And it's awfully important to have it in our ankles. If we misstep, our ankles are the first joint to sort of have to react and to steady ourselves. So we want, again, that balance between strength and mobility. So a lot of things we're doing, you can come back and, have a lot of fun doing this on your own sometime, but you really do get benefit from paying attention to our lower leg. Good. So you just, with that little bit of work, pause, observe. You can feel sort of the energy that you've stirred up there. What we're feeling is the circulation going back into those muscles in the lower leg. Okay, good. Go ahead and exhale. Inhale, full breath in, and exhale your arms to this goalpost. Arms will just inhale and exhale a couple of times, sitting tall. The stretches in the front, the stretches in the back, a couple of more. You know, we can work. It's great to use weights. We can still get strength by just the weight of the arm and this repetitive movement. So I don't think we aren't working on strength. We're working on both. And then we'll come forward, and then we'll look up at the thumbs pulled down. So we'll inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Feel the stretch in the length in the front, in the back, side body. Again, we could do this a lot longer, and you would feel the result of that in the muscles at the top of the shoulder. But just to give you a little sample, we're kind of doing a nice sample of different things in the practice today. Hold, breathe, like you're trying to touch opposite sides of the room, reach long, roll the right forward and the left all the way back, and then change it over, and then change it over. This goes all the way up in through the shoulder, lengthens all the muscles that run lengthwise down the arm. Good, and release. Okay. Sitting on the edge of the chair, sitting tall, posture check, sitting in Tadasana, mountain pose. I'm going to do a seated sun salutation. We'll move with the breath. It's a little sequence, good for mobility of the spine and the shoulders. And it goes like this. We inhale up, modify the arms as needed. This is the important part where we think about hinging from the hip crease, flat back. So this strengthens the back a little bit right here. Inhale, shoulder blades together, good for length of the muscles in the chest. Exhale, flat back like a table, come forward. Now inhale like you're going to start to sit up, but you change your mind. Forward again, flat back. We'll rotate to the right with a twist. If it's comfortable for the arm, reach up. If it's not, keep the arm lower. So think about your navel moving over toward the side. Exhale down. Inhale, rotate opposite way to the left, with or without the arm, dictated to by the comfort, the range of motion available in the shoulder. Exhale down. Inhale, full breath in, reach up. Exhale. Do a couple more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, open. Exhale. Inhale like you're going to sit up. Feel the muscles in your back. Work. Exhale, forward. The twist is to the right. And now the twist is to the left. And we come back, center, reach up like you're trying to touch the ceiling, getting taller in the chair every time. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, open. Exhale. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold to the right. Good. To the left. You might be up a little bit higher. It's your body, position that suits you. Full breath in, reach up. Nice. Okay, sit. We're going to start to get our circulation, pick our circulation up a little bit. But again, just notice how that those movements work on the spine and the shoulder, so you can hopefully feel yourself getting a little bit warmer. But this will definitely take us that direction. The way our brain is wired very early on in our development, so we're just going to do this sort of a simple march here, just to get some of the big muscles moving. We're programmed to move opposite arm and leg. So this is just up. So we're tall. We're not using the back of the chair. You can do that. You know that you're strengthening your back. So another march, and then we're going to change it up. So take a pause. Now we're going to come up with the left arm and leg. This is the way we don't move so much. I call this marionette. So we have to think about this a little bit more. And then we're going to change it again. Now we come up left side. It's like we're going to cross our leg, but we change our mind. We come up and down. Right side, up, like we're going to cross. See how that gets the attention of that inner thigh or adductor muscle? Up, Also the shoulder and arm, in, up, down. It's much easier to just sort of cross that leg than it is to take that little pause and hold that muscle as it's working. If you'd have a hip replacement, if this catches your hip in a way that doesn't suit you, modify the position. You can just come in, if that's better. So up, hold, up, good job. Up, over, up. Strengthening inner thigh helps, again, balance the strength of the hip. We want our muscles strong, forward and back, side to side, and this is inner thigh. Hold this time, right side up. Now hold. Again, the muscle be complaining a little bit. And then go ahead, cross your legs if that works for you. Cross the ankles if that's better for the hip. And we squeeze a little bit. We'll take the right arm and the left arm will cross on top. Cross your elbows. You can bring, this is a full eagle pose, Garudasana. You can do that. You might just cross the forearms. You might bring your arms together. Just a position where you can feel that you're squeezing or holding. A bind in yoga restricts the flow, blood flow, our circulation in our arms and legs for a bit, but it enriches the blood flow in our vital organs. So it just stimulates the circulatory system. We keep breathing. Okay. Any variation of this will work just fine. Release. Feel the circulation returning to your limbs. Posture check, sitting in mountain pose. We'll come up with the left side like we're going to cross. This is a little bit of work, much easier just to cross the leg than to hold. So this is almost crossing our legs. Then cross. Take the right arm on top, your version. Sometimes it's interesting to discover that even crossing your legs on one side comes easier than the other. Our joints don't have the same mobility side to side because of how we live in our bodies, having a dominant arm, living with the patterns, the way we move, really changes our bodies. And it's through this observation of paying attention in yoga that we just learn more about our body. We should find it interesting, right? Release. Good job. Pause. Check in with your breathing. We want to keep our breath flowing. Sitting in mountain pose. Check that. We're going to come to standing. I call this 3 points to stand. So first, we'll row, good for shoulder mobility. So we'll do a row. Then, and you'll automatically, as you're going to stand, you automatically bring, we didn't have to tell you to do that, you'll automatically bring your legs in. You can hover, if you'd like the security of the chair, you can hover like this, or you can just get lighter in your seat, your version. We release. And the third one is we come up to standing, just like we're signaling a touchdown, and we lower. So we'll do this several times. We row, and you can leave your feet down, you can bring them up. That's just, I don't know what that is. That's style points or something. That's important to you. Little hip flexor work, really. Row, hover. So we want muscle and not momentum. We're moving very slowly. You get the idea. And we hover. Yes. Last time. We row. Good job. Stretch the muscles long in the front. Hover, strengthening those important leg muscles. Side body lengthening. Good. Release. So now we're standing for the first time in this class. So be aware of how your feet feel. And if you've chosen to leave your shoes on, you can do that. You get a lot of information through the bottom of your feet into your brain. So there really is some advantages to working in your bare feet, even in socks, but you do want to be careful as we move to the side of the chair that you feel secure. So if you have socks on, you're on a slippery surface, you want to avoid that. You don't want to feel slippery. As you're standing here, press down and out to the little toe side a little bit of your foot. Back to this idea of waking up the muscles on the side body. If you press down and out, you can feel how that just wakes up the muscles in your legs, your thighs. It feels like they move into the bone a little bit. Like you're trying to make your mat or the space between your feet a little bit wider. There's a little softness to the knee. It also feels like if you're pressing out, think about your lower back also getting a little extra space. The lower back gets very condensed and very jammed up. So we want to feel lifted and open and spacious in this standing position. So we'll move now so that the chair is on the left, okay? We'll be standing, and we will first work this left leg closest to the chair, standing in Vrikshasana or tree pose. There's so many ways to even do this posture with the chair. One of the most common balancing poses in yoga. So as long as you feel steady, you could move the chair so that you were standing on the mat. If you're on a non-slippery surface, just make sure you're aware of your stability. We'll lift this outside right leg with a bent knee. We'll rotate the knee to the side. Your choice to bring it into the inside of the shin. You could let the toe touch down and the heel touch your ankle bone. You could lift it, if you lift it above the knee, and you don't want it to be right on the knee, so either above the knee and you'll have to help it with your hand, or just where you choose, but come back to good posture. Long spine, chest lifted and open, shoulders down away from the ears. You can extend your right arm out or up. No matter what position you choose, you're primarily going to be weight bearing in this left leg, and that's our purpose here. We get benefit, and you can, of course, challenge yourself as much as you want. You can reach out, you can position your arms, I guess it'd be your limbs, as you choose. But the idea here is to have weight bearing for the hip and all the bones in our left leg. And as short a time as 20 minutes, there is some benefit. When the bones are required to hold weight, they actually trigger the body to draw the essential minerals, number one, calcium, from our body to promote their strength. All right. Good. And release. So roll through your feet, couple shoulder shrugs. We're going to move into triangle or Trikanasana. We're going to take the same leg that was weight bearing. We'll go toward the bottom of the chair, under the seat of the chair, with the toes pointing to the left. We'll take the right leg back and have kind of a wide stance, but you want to feel secure. The heel is kicked back a little bit on this right leg. Make sure, though, that you can stand tall. You don't feel precarious in any way. First, the arms will just lift shoulder level. There's a tendency here to lean toward the the side to the left here. Commit to reaching right and left equally. You're right in the center of your legs. Inhale your arms up to promote this long spine. Exhale, they come down to your shoulders like there's strings on the fingertips on the left side. You just slide, your hips slide back to the right, and you kind of go until your body turns on the brakes. Light support on the seat of the chair. If you have issues with the shoulder, you may modify the position of the right arm, but reach up toward the ceiling, tall. The position of the head can be down. It can be forward. Most challenging will be up. If that promotes too much tension or discomfort in the neck, just stay forward or down. So the crown of the head moving long. Keep the breath flowing. Feel what is supporting you as your strong legs. A little bit down and forward with the left foot, down and back with the right. Good. To come out, we lift way, way up. Release. Step the legs together carefully. A couple shoulder shrugs. One more position, again, to challenge this left leg. This time we'll turn and face the seat of the chair and take our hands to the seat of the chair with the shoulders right over the wrists. So this is sort of like a standing table position. And we're going to bend the right knee and lift it up and draw the right knee towards your nose and then look forward and just extend the leg. So just exhale, round, inhale, lengthen. Feel how this uses the muscles in the lower back because we're lifting the weight of the leg up against gravity, something we don't do very often. And then we'll hold. You could stay right here. Pull up with your belly. Use your core muscles to promote the strength. If you feel secure, you might lift out that left arm. You might feel better hanging onto the chair. Another variation could be to take the right hand to the hip, and you could do a little lift. Again, make sure you feel secure doing this. Outer thigh, if the toe is down, the challenge is more in the back. If you rotate to the side, you're working more of the outer hip muscles. Abductors, which is a counter to that crossing of the legs thing we were doing. Release. Good. All right. Back to the front of the chair. I call this empty shirt sleeves. We've been doing some work where we're working our muscles. We want to remind ourselves to release tension. It's nice to let the leg you're twisting away from lift the heel. It's a little kinder, a little easier on the back and the knee. And just release tension all the way down from the shoulders to the wrists, back. Check that your breath is flowing. And then we'll come over to the other side, obviously. That should come as no surprise. Make any adjustments to the chair, to your stance, so that you feel secure. The right leg will be weight bearing. You want to first just stand tall, standing in mountain pose. We'll lift the outside left knee forward, rotate it to the side, and choose the position for the side. It might be different. If you have a tricky hip that requires a different position, respect that. So position of choice, tall spine, shoulders relaxed. Again, you can reach up, you can reach out. But feel this right leg, it's holding your weight. We are used to kind of distributing our weight. And the benefit is in the joints. A little softness, a little micro bend to the knee on the supporting side. Long spine, flowing breath. Challenge yourself with your arms in any way that's comfortable for you. It could be just touching with a finger if you don't want to let go of the chair. And release. Good. We're going to rotate the toes on the right leg toward the right and then step back with the left leg, which is sort of a wide stance, but one that, again, allows you to feel secure. Kick that left heel back. Stand in the center of your legs. Shoulders and hips are toward the front. You'll feel a little roll, a little movement toward this hip. But shoulders and hips toward the front. But arms shoulder level. Try to think, commit equally, side to side. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale. Good. And then like there's strings on the fingertips on the right that just shift the shoulders opposite the direction of the slide of the hips. Back to the left. Hand can come to the chair. Top left arm can come up. Continue to reach. Continue to imagine the crown of your head moving long. You're stacking your shoulders. Again, you could look up, you could look forward, or you could look down. This both lengthens and strengthens. It challenges the spine in the lower back. It's supporting weight in a way that we normally don't hold this position. And it's challenging the muscles and actually, therefore, then strengthening the vertebra in the lower back. Come up, we release. Go ahead and step together as you turn to face the chair. Come forward. Again, important that the shoulders are over the wrists. This little bit of weight bearing, again, good for the density of the wrist. Continue to lift this left leg. We'll draw the knee in toward the nose and then extend the leg out, pulling up with the belly. So it's in and out. In, stretch the gluteal. It contracts and works. Good. As you hold, you could, if you choose, Extend the right arm long. Breathe. You can release. You could hold here for a few more breaths. You could point the toe forward. You could bring your left arm up to the hip. You could lift the left arm high. Again, just choose a position. This will take it more to the outer thigh. Arms as you choose. Breathe. Little supported Ardha Chandrasana. Release. Stand. Beautiful. Come back to standing in front of the chair. Make sure you know where that chair is. And we'll go back to some seated work, but we're going to just kind of cruise through some chair poses, like we're going to have a seat, but we change our mind. We're going to sit down, but we change our mind. Good. Again, so important to realize how much strength building you can bring to the lower body, even though we're doing a chair class. We may not appreciate or realize how strength building and how so much of what we do in a chair class relates to everything. And let's hold. This is fun. And then we go back. Imagine you're holding a beach ball or something back behind your lower back. Tuck the tailbone in a little bit, like you're lengthening out your lower back. That'll help support this position. But as you hold this imaginary ball, again, you can feel the length, the all-important stretch in the front of the chest and shoulders. And then ever so slowly, just have a gentle seat. Bring yourself back up. Check back in, muscle memory. We want this to be a good habit. Come back to sitting in Tadasana. Well, the final little seated posture here. You can do benefit sitting in a chair that will work on bone density and muscle strength in the hip, even though we're seated. This is an example. In this wide stance, we'll start, first of all, tall. We're aware, moving slowly with an awareness. We'll extend the right leg long. We're going to just soften the elbow on the left and just let it gently touch the top of the thigh. Now we're going to take the right shoulder and just do this big roll. Lift it all the way up to your ear and drop it back. So this big sort of dramatic roll. That helps sort of, it teaches us to fight the urge to contract and curl forward, but sort of spiral open. From this position, we can reach long. So the palm will be facing down. See if you can form as long a line as you can from the outside of the foot on the right to the fingertips. So the weight, most of the weight is in this left hip, and then we'll just change the position of the upper body where the lower body stays just where it is, sort of a reverse warrior. Fingertips can go outside this knee, ribs shift over, feel this nice stretch. You know, when we stretch the intercostal muscles, this helps us prepare for every breath in we take because we create, and we'll come back to that extended side angle. We're really opening the areas in our body and release that we need to be ready to receive our breath. You know, it's important. This affects so many important functions of the body. Take a little breath in, feel the muscles in the back contract, and exhale just to regroup. Sit tall in mountain pose. Extend the right leg long. You can move the left leg out, knee over ankle, toes forward, tall. Shoulders down away from the ears. Reach up to lengthen the side body, arms exhaling, shoulder level, reaching both equally side to side. Soften the right elbow. It just touches gently on the top of the thigh. Sweep way up and over with this left arm palm down. We're going to lower this because I want to roll the shoulder back. We're going to take that big shoulder roll. There we go. Then do that movement again. And you can feel how that sort of places the shoulder back and just opens, creates an opportunity to find more length and space in this left side. And then come up, lower body on hold, just shifting back. Now the ribs are moving, right ribs moving over. We'll Reverse it again, one more time. Reach long. Make that big circle again. Good. Bring it in. We're going to hug this right leg. Just hug it in, almost like you're in a half child's pose if you were curled up in the ball. And then we'll point the right knee to the right. Little hip opener to finish up. You may rest and be very judicious, careful about really checking in with your knee, your ankle. It might be better, and certainly if you've had a hip replacement, you'll want to take this position just crossing the ankle. You may find if there's room on the chair, that may be enough of a rotation open for this hip. If your ankle and knee are happy about it, the foot can rest on your thigh. Flexing this right ankle a little bit kind of helps inside a little alignment that is a good idea for the knee and the ankle in this position. And where you might feel this is in the meat of this hip, of the gluteals here. So you want to feel a nice gentle stretch. You can hold. You'll probably feel even a deeper stretch if you shift forward a little bit. Make sure that's appropriate. Breathe fully. Come up. A nice counter move will be to change the position of this hip in the opposite direction. So we'll lower the right knee down toward the floor and rotate away toward the back. So you're reaching way down toward the floor. We've been doing a lot of sitting and work where we're bending at the hip crease. So now we get to lengthen the front of the right thigh. And lift and rotate the spine. Good. Come back to the front. Welcome up the opposite left leg. Hug it in. One leg comes in up and in easier on one side for me than the other. So again, it's just kind of interesting to explore your body. Know how one side is different than the other. Carefully taking your time, not assuming one side is going to behave just like the other because they're often so different, especially in these big joints. So we can point the knee to the outside in a way that is appropriate for you. A little flexion here. If you shift forward, it's with a flat back from that hip crease. The weight of the body coming forward, that stretch, you'll feel the result of that now in your left hip. Hold and breathe. Bring your upper body up, uncross your legs. Come back to sitting in Tadasana. Take a pause and be observant. You can let go now of any managing your breath. Just allow it to move to the background. Breathe in a way that sort of becomes invisible. Allow the chair to hold you now. So get comfortable. I haven't not used that word yet in this practice, but now sit so that you are using the back of the chair. Preferably your feet are still grounded. So arrange yourself so you're comfortable. And we're going to take a moment. You can either find a gazing point. I suggest you close your eyes. Conscious relaxation, bringing us to a point where we can dismiss tension as best we can, is one of the most important parts of the practice. So you can sit here for just as long as you can. This will be very brief, but allow the chair to hold you, and we'll just take the briefest inventory. You feel your feet supported on the chair, softening there in the feet and the ankles, the lower leg. And your knees, so crucial to all our movement. A lot of times at this point, it's nice even to just rub your knees a little bit. That really feels good. They really like that. Maybe feeling how the warmth of your hands resting on your thighs allows to invite them to release their weight down into the seat of the chair. You're back now enjoying the support of the back of the chair. Softening all the joints in your hands and ankles, softening in your forearms, your elbows, and most importantly, with every breath. This next breath, release even a little more fully in your shoulders down. Softening the muscles in your neck and jaw and face, and softening between your eyes. Just as though you've pressed the pause button. I'm going to share a little poem, which I think is so good for these times right now. It's from the book Go In and In by Dana Folds. Allow. There is no controlling life. Try corralling a lightning bolt, containing a tornado. Dam a stream and it will create a new channel. Resist and the tide will sweep you off your feet. Allow. And grace will carry you to higher ground. The only safety lies in letting it all in. The wild, the weak, fear, fantasies, failure, success. When loss rips off the doors of the heart, or sadness veils your vision with despair, practice becomes simply bearing the truth. In the choice to let go of your known way of being, the whole world is revealed to new eyes. So prepare to move out into the day. Hopefully, as we sit tall now and arrange ourselves in the posture we'd like to move forward in, releasing your arms down by your side. Take an exhale. Inhale, take a full breath in. May we hope for good intentions and kind words and an open heart. Thank you so much for practicing today. Namaste.